Are you a first-time homeschooler and you have no idea where to start and you're feeling completely overwhelmed? Then this video is for you. I'm Lauren with One Haven Maven, and on my channel you will find all things home related. It's my goal to help you become the best wife and mother that you can be. Today we're talking about homeschooling. This last year was my first year of homeschooling, and I spent hours upon hours upon hours watching videos kind of like this, trying to figure out the best way to homeschool my daughter. And I want to save you that time. So today I'm going to share with you 4 concrete applicable tips that will help you in your first year of homeschooling. My first tip is knowing why you want to homeschool. Why are you doing this? Like any goal, you need to have a reason, because that's what's going to keep you going and encouraging you when you feel really overwhelmed and like you just can't do it anymore. And trust me, you're going to have those moments. So in my case, my daughter was a really good student and there were never any complaints from her teachers, but she really struggled in a couple of subjects. And though she was getting extra help, I just wasn't seeing the progress that I wanted to see. And so to me, that meant that she needed more one-on-one time to get her where she needed to be. Number 2, how do you find curriculum? So there's 2 ways to go about this. The first way is that you can create your own curriculum. Now I will say and give you a bit of a warning that if you're not a professional teacher, this can be extremely challenging and a whole lot of work. I found it better just to buy curriculums that were already made. That way it took a lot of the guesswork out of it. So how do you find that? Well, I spent hours watching various videos trying to figure out what was the best curriculum for my child. So you need to know the way that your child learns. Are they a visual learner? Do they need to be more hands-on? That's the kind of thing you need to consider when you're looking for a curriculum. Now, there are many curriculums that I found are more popular, and so I'm going to name a few of those that I actually used this year. For science this year, I used The Good and the Beautiful. So 2 things that you need to know about the Good and the Beautiful science units is that they are not geared towards a specific grade. So they have various units, like this one's meteorology, we have energy, we had water, and there's a whole slew of them. But they are for kindergarten all the way through 8th grade. My daughter's in 6th grade this year, and so the only thing that I would have liked to see was a little bit more for the older students. However, I will say I love that the experiments really helped bring the concept to life. So we will actually be using The Good and the Beautiful Science for next year as well. Second is math, and I can't show you that because it's actually an online program. It's called teachingtextbooks.com. Now, teaching textbooks I absolutely loved. I like it because I am not good at math, so I needed a program that would teach the concept to my daughter and be able to be kind of self-guided, and that's exactly what this is. So it gives her a little lecture, some practice questions, and then it has some problems that she has to figure out, and she can go back and watch the lecture again if she's confused or is stuck at some point. There are also quizzes in there as well, and I love it. Highly recommend that one. Next, we have English, and for English this year, I used BJU Press. This is the student workbook. It also came with a teacher workbook. We did not love this one, and I will not be using this again. Not to say that it's bad, just wasn't good for my daughter. Basically what it is there's a concept that you teach, and then you go through a guided practice with your student, and then there's an independent practice in here. There's also reviews at the end of each chapter. I just found this was a little too tedious, especially since this is one of the subjects that my daughter struggled with. I really felt like we had to go back to the basics, and I needed to find a way to make it fun. That's what connected with her. So this one, not so much. History was the one subject that I had decided that I was going to create my own curriculum. Why? Because most people think that history is boring, and I actually really think history is fascinating. So I wanted to make it interesting for my daughter. So what I did is I bought the Abeka Old World History curriculum. I think I got this off of eBay actually, and I sort of used it as a guide as for which country she needed to study this year. But then I took books from my local library and resources I found online and videos I found on Netflix or Amazon to incorporate into each country that we studied. It took a lot of time And so next year, I think I will actually use a specific curriculum rather than trying to create my own here. And I might, tweak it a little bit, but it was just a little too much for me to do it all on my own. The other subjects like art and music and PE, those ones I feel like are pretty simple to come up with on your own. PE, the kids can go outside, or if they have some sort of sport or dance or something like that that they already do, you can work that in pretty easily. For art, we used a lot of Art Kids Hub on YouTube. It's a dad with his kids and he teaches you how to draw and he takes the kids step by step, and it's really, really simple and he does a great job of teaching. So I highly recommend him. And then there's a million other art projects you can find on Pinterest or just by searching the internet. And music, if your daughter or your son have an instrument they're already working on, then great, they can continue to practice with that, or there are websites like Skillshare.com, which is a paid website, but they do offer lessons in various instruments there. Number 3 in my tips is cost. You need to have a budget and kind of stick within there, but make it reasonable. I will tell you that I probably spent between $300 and $400 this year on my daughter's schooling. And that may sound like a lot, and that's okay if you can't spend that. There are ways to do it more economically, but I did buy the majority of my curriculums. And I also bought things like art supplies, printer paper, various items for experiments that we did in science. We went on some field trips. There are other costs that maybe you haven't thought of. So make sure you keep that in mind and you calculate that in when you're considering homeschooling. My 4th and final tip when homeschooling is to take a look at whatever your state standards are, because you can't just say, okay, I'm going to homeschool my child and just pull them out of school and just do it. In Tennessee, there are 3 different ways that you can homeschool your child. One is using an accredited online school, which I think there's only one here in Tennessee, so that's not really an option. Number 2 is that you can do an independent homeschool, which means that you still have to report to the state the attendance and the curriculum that you're using, and each year you have to file a form with intent to homeschool. And the last way is to register under a church umbrella school. And that's what we've actually done. We use Home Life Academy. I think it's about $100 a year, which again, there you go. There's a little bit of a cost, but the great thing about it is you report your curriculum and your attendance to them, and they take care of everything else that would need to be done between you and the state. My final advice to you is you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Just believe in yourself, get to know your child and how they learn, and really be very thoughtful about the curriculum that you choose and the type of things you want to do, but make it fun. Learning is supposed to be fun. The past year has been so rewarding to see my daughter progress in the 2 subjects that she was having trouble in. And not only that, she's excelling. She's getting 95s in math, which is amazing. And she and I are actually a lot closer just from spending so much time together. I also think there are things that she's learning from me and from her time with me that we wouldn't have time to do if she was in school. If this video was helpful for you, please give it a like below and subscribe to my channel. I try to share all things home related, so it might be recipes or parenting tips or date nights or fun things you can do with your kids. So if that sounds like something that interests you, then I would love to have you back. Thanks so much. Good luck on your homeschooling journey, and we'll see you soon.